Okay, final session of the day, final session of Substance Days Hollywood 2017. So a few people have been asking if you can rewatch today's sessions, and you can. You can head to Algorithmic's YouTube channel, or it's on livestream at livestream.com/Noman. So we have Wes, Jeremy, Sebastian, Alexi here for the final Q&A session. We've opened up the live chat on livestream now, so you can pitch questions there. You can also ask questions on YouTube, which is streaming on Algorithmic's page right now, and on Twitter, questions with #Noman, and we'll look out for those. So let's have a round of applause for today's panel. Thank you.
All right. All right. Is there any question?
Yeah.
Any question?
Hello, hello. The one thing that when I'm using Substance Designer is that your transform 2D is destructive, as in every time you move it, it goes back to 100. Is that going to change anytime soon, or is it going to stay like that? Do you guys know what I'm saying, or no?
Yeah, it may change in the future. It's mostly just a UI issue. I mean, the data in the background is actually not resetting every time. So I guess, yeah, it's just a legacy UI thing that will likely fix at some point. Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly when. I can give you an ETA, but yeah, we're aware that it's not the most convenient way to build transformation. Yeah.
Hey guys, long-time listener, first-time caller. I have a question for Sebastian. It's been rumored that Substance started, the idea of procedural image generation started when you were doing your doctorate on musical, like procedural music generation. Can you talk about how you guys made the jump from music and sound to visual texturing methods?
All right, so what is true in that story is that at some point, like back, I don't know how many years ago, but I used to play with a lot of stuff, and including instruments and including software tools for creating noises. And one of them had a UI, it was a node-based system. And it got me inspired. I don't remember the name, maybe Cyril, you remember, but it was on the Atari ST, I think. There was something that helped you plug things together, and filters and generators and filters, and produce sounds out of that. So, and I got inspired by this, indeed. But I was not the only one. So when I was a PhD student, also I used a program from, I think it was called IBM, for visualization of data. And it was for volumetric data. I wanted to generate it. I used to generate volumetric noise functions in volumes. And I had no way of visualizing them. So I used that program, and that program was node-based again. So I realized that it was a good way to actually describe a process for creating and managing and processing data from zero, sometimes from something that has been generated, or from capture. But the whole tree node-based system got me inspired, yes. So yes, I got inspired by many different tools in the music field, from music to visualization, and now back to music, because I like to play with it again. But yeah, well, it's good. It's a long time ago.
Cubase.
You what?
Cubase.
Cubase? No, I don't think it was Cubase. But it was older than that.
Okay. Wasn't born, I guess.
Yeah, you weren't born. Yeah.
Hello. I was wondering if you guys had any plans of using the nodes in Substance Designer to be able to create a shader, say, that you could use in Painter, instead of writing a shader in GLSL, etc.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. No, yeah, we have plans. Right now in Substance Designer, there is a shader editor that's specifically for the MDL, the NVIDIA material definition language, and we're actually currently building sort of a framework for us to be able to build any kind of shader shader graph inside of Substance Designer. So we're still looking at different options to what kind of shader language we want to tackle next. But being able to do real-time shader in a node graph, be able to export that as GLSL is definitely one of the things we're looking at.
Which one would you like to see? GLSL or something else? GLSL? Okay.
I do like WebGL stuff. So it wouldn't be directly portable, but it would be pretty close. And being able to use it in Painter would be great too, because yeah.
Agreed. So yeah, anyway, we're exploring this idea. Indeed, we have a more generic system now, and so we've been working on other like material type of representations of different material types and languages. But yeah, definitely stuff like OSL or OpenGL, GLSL are like in the radar. We don't know what, when, how, why, but we would like to investigate. Yes.
Very cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, I was interested in that UVing software you showed yesterday, and I was wondering if there was a time frame for that being released, and what it would be called so I can find it.
So time frame, I guess shout out to Jean-François back in France. If I answer something, he will kill me, I guess. But we don't know yet, to be fair. So we wanted to show that because we know it's part of the process. It was one of these painful parts of the process, and we've been working on that for quite some time already. And but it's been recently that we got some interesting results and interesting enough so that we can show them. And we got also confident enough that it was actually working. And so it's really state-of-the-art stuff, like papers from SIGGRAPH and from somewhere else, like papers from 2016 or even 2017, really, really recent stuff. And so he managed, Jean-François especially, managed to connect all these elements together and make it work. And it was like really not only like computer graphics, and it was like from math and very various fields. So we wanted to show this, but it's still early in the process when it comes to tools. So the algorithm itself is very impressive. It works already well, and well enough so that we wanted to show it. But now when it comes to a tool, to an actual tool that with proper UI, proper UX as well, and something that doesn't like crash and that is installable on machines, it will require a bit more time. But code name for now is, I don't know. I know, well, anyway, we don't know yet, but it's changing. Anyway, so no ETA, sorry about that. We hope it won't be too long from now. Don't know if it's useful.
Sorry.
There was a chance to say something.
I see Cyril, our CTO, like watching me, like it was like.
I think what we can say is actually we're now confident that it's going to end up in a product, but we have no idea when the product will be released. No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Are there any more questions in the stage? Okay, there's one over there, Jerome.
Hi. So first I just wanted to say thank you for holding this event again. It was a really good time, just like last year. And I wanted to thank you for your hospitality because it's been great. So my question is very selfish. Just not that LA isn't gorgeous and being at Noman is awesome, but is there any chance you'd ever be interested in visiting Canada? More bang for your buck. So
what do you mean by visiting Canada?
Just one.
As a tourist? Sure. Yeah.
We'd love if you had. Well, we'd love if you had a substance day there.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm from Winnipeg. It's boring, so you might want to go to like Montreal or Vancouver.
Okay.
but-
So actually, first of all, we're already doing like lots, of course, of customer visits in Canada. Not only customers, but also universities. When it comes to an event, eventually, this is our goal. We would like to have events everywhere. So I mean, our goal. We already have the plan to do an event in Europe. So maybe this year, but we're not sure. But maybe end of this year, we're going to have a similar event in Europe. We already had event in Tokyo and Seoul this year. Next year, we also want to have an event in China. And actually, Canada is making sense. We have an office in Montreal now. So Montreal could be a nice place to do so, or Vancouver. Next year, SIGGRAPH is at Vancouver, so maybe we could combine this with Vancouver. We haven't really think about it yet, but this is definitely an option.
Yeah, you're very, very busy, I know. So thank you.
All right.
Any more on the stage? Okay, there's one back there, Jerome. We're getting a few online, so I'm just trying to like get them all down.
My next question I think is for Wes, but you would all probably know how prevalent are positions becoming where, or I guess, are there positions that are just becoming purely substance-based jobs? Like that's all they do is just work in substance. Is that prevalent enough in a pipeline where those are starting to appear, or?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I'll probably have you say this, Alex.
So your question is about, do we see studios that are exclusively using Substance?
No.
No,
No, it's for people doing that only, like substance artists.
Oh, okay.
Studios looking for substance artists.
So the answer is yes, and this is a job title that we start to see, which is either material artists, we do see that, or asset manager, so the guy who is actually responsible, or the guy or the gal who is responsible for creating a database of library.
Database of library.
A database of materials. Sorry about that. And it seems that even though in games, it's 3D artists most of the time are polyvalent, making modeling and texturing. We start to see people that are exclusively dedicated to materials and to texturing. And in film, there already is like a discipline which is surfacing, which is actually 100% dedicated to texturing. So yes, there are some jobs where you could do substance all the time.
Or you can work for algorithmic and you'll just do
Yes.
Okay, should we take an online question?
Yep.
Okay, so is the Unity Substance Painter live link coming to UE4?
Yeah, we hope so, absolutely. We'd like to, we haven't started developing it, to be fair, but it's next, well, it's in the list of things we'd like to do, absolutely.
So actually, anybody can do it as well, meaning that right now, if you have the skills and the time to do a plugin for any application, you can do it by yourself. So at some point, UE4 is making sense, but the community could do it as well. There is no black box and so on. So the API is pretty much open.
Awesome, thank you. We have a really random one, I want to ask it. Sebastian, what's your favorite car?
What's my what?
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car?
Yeah.
Maybe my, okay, I have an answer for this one. Maybe my 2CV from Citroën, maybe you don't know this guy, but it's that was my first car, actually. It's a French car. Maybe you've seen it, it's very round and old, but it's and very weak as well, but I loved it.
Oh. Okay, serious question. So, any plans to add photogrammetry and HDRI map creation and such to Substance Designer? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I mean, we already have a few tools for photogrammetry in Substance Designer. We have there's tools that we introduced with Substance Designer 6 that allow you to, from a bunch of pictures of a surface, getting a fully titleable PBR material. So that's one step. The next step for us is to build, again, filters and tools to be able to do that with actual 3D photogrammetry, where you would go on-site somewhere and scan 3D objects, bring that into Substance Designer and remove the lighting, make sure that everything works well, there is no seams and everything. Potentially bring it to Substance Painter to finalize it. So we're working on that kind of workflow at this point. It's still a few months away, but yeah, it's definitely something we're interested in.
Okay, great. Any more on the stage? Okay, yeah. There's one back here, and then we have a few more coming in.
Hey guys, I know I've read up on it a little bit in the past, but I know integrating into Blender had issues with the GPL. Have there been any movement on that or anything that you guys have figured out as far as integrating the Substance engine into Blender?
So yeah, we've been working on that like recently actually with a new lawyer, and I think we're close to something. So there is hope here, and we'd really like to do something that makes it easier for both Blender and Substance users to work with the two tools, like not having to go through a painful process of exporting, re-importing, etc. So yeah, we might have found something. So stay tuned. Yeah, hopefully there's hope at least. Sure.
Okay, so Zach Tate on Twitter would like to know where he can find the best resources for learning the Substance tools if he has no texturing or modeling experience, so a real beginner.
We actually have Substance Academy, which is a website that we run, and it has a lot of tutorials going anywhere from beginner, intermediate, and advanced. We're also constantly expanding the library that we have there. So I would definitely say just to keep an eye on Substance Academy. Also our YouTube channel, we try to put a lot of training content. We don't really have much training in the way of, a complete new user, new to 3D, not really knowing much about texturing and UV. We have a couple videos that kind of address these things in some of our Getting Started with Painter courses. But that is something that we talk about internally and something that I very much would like to, take on as another course for Academy, where we take a look at, the entire process, because, we focus on textures and materials so much, but there's also, the mesh that you're creating, the UVs and things like that. So it would be really good to have a course where, okay, we're going to start with a modeling program, we're going to build a simple asset, we're going to unwrap it, we're going to talk about that entire process, then we're going to take it into Designer or Painter, depending on, what the end product might need to be, and then cover the texturing process. So that's definitely something that we would like to do within Substance Academy. So something for the future, but in the meantime, definitely check out Substance Academy.
Okay, any more on the stage? Yep.
Hello. I got a question, and I've only been here today, so I don't know if it was mentioned before, but in the presentations that I saw today, there's one thing that none of the designers used, and that was really the particle effects. And I'm just from experience, I know sometimes whenever I use them, they do all kinds of wacky things. So wondering if there's any future tweaks or improvements, or are you going to get rid of them altogether, or what? What can we expect on that?
Yeah,
they are just so hard to use.
Cliff used them in his
Yeah,
presentation.
we're definitely not going to get rid of them. That was like the main. It's the main innovation when we first presented Substance Painter. We presented the particles because that was really the thing that was standing out. And since then, we've been focusing on making Substance Painter as easy as possible and as efficient as possible for productions, because people started actually using the tool for actual production. And so the particles have kind of been left on the back burner, where we're trying to bring that workflow to a point where it's really very easy to use and fast to use. That being said, we have plans for the particles, and we have several things we intend to do, having more presets, updating the library that we use to have a lot more options when it comes to the behavior of the particle, and just try to expand what we can do with it. And typically one example is how could we easily create flow maps by using particles, for example? That's something that is very painful to do today, that you can't do with the Substance tools, and that's something that would be a very good test case for us to improve how those particles work inside of Substance Painter. So it's definitely not going away. It's taking us a little bit of time to update it and to make it more useful than it is today. But yeah, expect some new stuff about particles in the coming future.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, let's take another online question. Let's see. Do you have any plans for Cycles renderer support in Designer and Painter?
Cycles renderer?
Yes,
Is that
in
the
Designer?
blend?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a good question actually because yeah, I'm supposed to talk with Ton Rosendahl from the Blender Foundation next week actually at SIGGRAPH about this. So yeah, that's something I like to explore as an opportunity, absolutely, because it makes sense. So why not?
Yeah, we've had a few Blender people commenting today, so I think they'd like that.
Yeah.
And on the SIGGRAPH note, someone else is curious what you're going to be displaying at SIGGRAPH next week.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
I can talk about it actually. So at SIGGRAPH, we're going to have a slightly different focus than the Substance Days. Of course, we're going to show what has been shown here, but also we have an interesting partnership with X-Rite. So X-Rite is the company that owns Pantone, that is also manufacturing a device, scanning device called the TAC7. And we actually have announced a partnership with them where we are going to support their file format called AXF inside Substance Designer, meaning that their software and hardware will actually output Substance files. And on the other side, Substance Designer will be able to read what's captured directly from their devices. So this is actually very interesting because it's really part of our initiative when it comes to photogrammetry and making sure we're really like state of the art when it comes to scan processing. So we're going to have a session with them. We're going to showcase how it's working on our booth at SIGGRAPH as well. We're also going to have a bunch of sessions with NVIDIA, also talking about new rendering methods, also talking about MDL and the evolution of MDL. So yeah, slightly different focus, very focused on materials and photogrammetry.
Cool, thank you. I'll see you at SIGGRAPH. Anyone on the stage? Okay, I can keep going, we have more. What are your revamping plans for B2M, if you have any?
So without disclosing too much, there are going to be news about bitmap to material soon. So, I don't know if it's this year or next year or early next year, but we definitely have a plan for this software, which is still very unique in the industry, making that creating a PBR material out of a single image. We have new techs that we definitely want to implement. We also have new ideas about UX and UI, and there is definitely going to be a new iteration of bitmap to material in the coming months.
Awesome, thank you. And someone is asking if you're going to be streaming any of your SIGGRAPH content at all?
No.
Or do they have to go?
It's not going to be streamed, but
Okay.
I believe the sessions, the talks will be recorded and then available on the internet
Oh, great.
right afterwards.
The sponsor session we do with NVIDIA and X-Rite about like this AXF file support in Substance Designer, that will be recorded.
Okay, so that'll be on your YouTube channel, right?
It might be, no, it's not a YouTube thing, but it
Yeah,
will not be live streamed, but
sorry, it will be on the GTC, NVIDIA Best of GTC channel,
Oh,
the website.
perfect.
there you go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jérôme.
That was awesome from the back there. Do we have any more questions in the stage? I still have more. Do you have any plans to bring Tessellation for Mac users, especially for Substance Designer?
Yes, we do. We're currently upgrading our OpenGL version in Substance Designer, and that should allow us to do some more fancy stuff in there. So hopefully we'll be able to give the same feature set for Mac users as PC users have right now.
Finally. But it's tough.
Okay, this one here. So you have a live link between Painter and Unity, and UE4 is coming. Do you have plans to have a live link between Painter and Substance? Sorry, I don't know what he's, Painter and Designer, sorry.
Painter and Designer, yeah, absolutely. Well, it's, it's always the case where we do treat our own software like as the least of interest. But it's, yeah, absolutely. Well, the main general goal is to, as Alexis was saying, we have this API for Substance Painter that lets you actually send information from the tool via a socket, if I'm not mistaken, so that if you can read that and receive information, I'm attacked by something. Basically, it's you will be able to have that kind of live links between any application and Substance Painter. So yes, absolutely, we'd like to have a way, but it'd be on like the other way around, I guess, from Substance Designer to Substance Painter. And yeah, absolutely, we'd like to have that. It's again in the list of things we'd like to do. No ETA yet, soon, trademark, but it's yeah. It will be coming.
Cool. And someone is curious about your future routine for upgrades. So they said you've changed the updating version numbering system, and they're just wondering if that's going to change the future of your updates.
We don't intend to. Okay. Meaning that the reason why we actually switched to a numberless version system and yearly updates is actually what makes the most sense development-wise. The deal was really to not have to wait until a major upgrade to release some really cool feature. On the other hand, also sometimes to release some pressure on the development side, so that if they need another month or two to really make a feature right, they can do it. So actually, we believe it's win-win, meaning that it's price-wise, it didn't change anything. And in the end, now that we've got so many products, we also need to make sure we can balance our resource on each product. So yeah, it was really mostly a development decision that should benefit the community in the end.
Okay. So we had a question that came in earlier that I thought I'd mention it. We didn't have time to ask it to the speaker, but Anton wanted to know online, how does the new feature anchor points work with fill layers? And he's particularly interested in how to make it work with a lot of fill layers and different generators. So is that one for Wes, maybe, or Jeremy?
I mean, the anchor point system is very. It was built to be very versatile, so it can be used with any component of the layer stack. All the examples that we showed, I think, we're using it in mask because that's kind of the obvious use when you want to, because Painter is all about creating good masks. So that's where our example show mask. But basically any slot where you can plug in content, you can plug in an anchor in it. So you can actually use anchors as materials. So the same way when in our example we would choose one channel of the anchor to use as a mask. If you use the anchor in the material slot, you can actually use all the channels at once of this anchor in another fill layer, for example. So yeah, there's really not really any limitation how you can use the anchors depending on the type of content you're working on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are there any more on the stage? I keep asking you guys. Was that? No? So another question has come in. Oh, there is one. Yeah. Okay, let's take that one.
All right, so the last, let's say, 5 years have been pretty crazy for texturing in general with we'll call it 10 years, with normal maps all the way through PBR, through, whatever is Substance, photogrammetry. What do you guys see on the horizon, in a year or two that you're excited about? Where do you see, what are the next big steps for texturing, and, where's it going from here?
Good question.
Well, there are the obvious things like capturing reality. I mean, capturing materials in a even more advanced way, and mixing that with, turning that into something that you can customize, which is key. So this is the whole goal of what we're doing with Substance Source right now, with well, producing content that can be scan-based, but that we try to proceduralize somehow by adding some procedural content on top of it, so that you have like tweaks to customize elements of it. So there's this how to turn, like, I mean, what does that mean to really capture like appearance of objects and materials. Also, there is the other obvious thing, which is the AI, how to leverage machine learning to process or create, hallucinate sometimes materials. What does that mean, and how can that be helpful to creators? Yeah, these are the two I'd say are very important. One thing that will remain, I think, is the physically based rendering. Like it has to be physical. Yeah, it will remain physical. It might get like more complicated in the way number of parameters you want to use and get closer to what you currently have in the offline world. I was talking about real time here. Yeah, I don't see that trend changing. I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, I think material is going to get more complex as we go forward.
Yeah.
At least in real time, it's already pretty complex in offline world. But we're already seeing games that instead of having just a simple, let's say, color metal roughness, we're already seeing games that have a metal color roughness, normal map, bent normal map, sheen, clear coats, all these layers that make a complex material in real life. If the real-time world wants to go closer and closer to reality, we're going to have to tackle that, and it's just a layer of complexity that's added to this material that, of course, you have to alter. So I guess the tools are going to have to evolve again to take into consideration these new parameters and being able to actually display them and work with them. I think it's one of the big, I guess, complex questions that will be asked for artists in the future, and something to kind of counter that. So some stuff is going to get more complicated. I think there is also the question of UVs that we've talked about. I think in the coming years, and hopefully we can help with that, we'll likely be able to maybe not entirely get rid of UVs, but at least not have to think about UVs when texturing and when creating materials. And I think that's going to be a huge step forward as well.
Yeah.
Also, to elaborate on what Sebastian was saying, it's very unlikely that everything will be automated, meaning that machine learning will help for sure. And this was also the philosophy of Substance Painter, really trying to reconcile the best of both worlds. What can be automated with procedural texturing, but keep the painting aspect of things. When you want to paint, when you want to add your own touch. And I mean, we believe in the hybrid approach overall. So if there are going to be new technologies, new features, for instance, machine learning, AI, and so on, this will help, and this will speed up processes. But in the end, they will. We strongly believe that it's always going to be mixing automated approach and manual approach.
Thank you. Okay, another question on YouTube. Do you have any plans on adding any mesh creation programs to the Substance series?
Maybe.
Maybe. I'd love to. But yeah, it's
That's a maybe. Okay.
we don't know and can't answer really. But
it's a question. You can grab this mic here.
There you go.
Hi, I'm sorry, maybe it's a question because I'm just a newcomer to your tools, but one of my main problem is very basic. And you spoke just about a partnership with X-Rite, and it's about color management. One of our problem, and I think it's common with a lot of industry, is that, of course, my direct customer, or I think people who make the decision, want to be confident in the color. And I think it's not only a software, it's hardware problem. And so do you plan or some partnership? X-Rite is well known to color management, but it's not only X-Rite, it's all the chain. And do you have some plan or?
So actually, we have a joker who's answering for us.
Okay, so actually, I'm not the right people. A guy.
I will pretend I'm talking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So yes, we're planning to do that for both worlds. So basically, film and animation, but also industrial design and architecture. So yes, we are definitely planning on doing that soon.
Okay.
And actually, it's a broader issue than only this, because for industrial design, it's mandatory. But now, even games with the new HDR and 4K TV, they are dealing with the same issue. And in the last 6 months, this has been probably our #1 request, especially in AAA studios, because I mean everything works fine now with the Substance tools, but they've got a massive issue with color management. They want to support OpenColor.io, ACES, and other different color grading formats. So yeah, we have to tackle this. Unfortunately, it's very complex, and today nobody has a clear answer on how to deal with it. So we'll learn together, I would say, but we will have to tackle this anyways, and this is definitely planned in the short term.
Okay, thank you. We keep in touch.
Cool. We have 5 minutes if there's any final questions. Yep.
I was wondering if there are any tools maybe upcoming or already available for creating like Sprite Sheets inside of Substance Designer, something like a flipbook animation for fire or something like that.
I didn't know, but yeah, actually, if you go to Substance Share, one of our users actually did make like a Sprite tool filter actually that you can use inside a designer. Unfortunately, I cannot remember the name or the author's name, but yeah, just go in and check through Substance Share, and they actually made one. I was checking it out a couple weeks ago. It works pretty well.
The way it works, if I remember well, is like it's like dividing the output image in like little squares, and then it places all the steps in the matrix you obtain. Is that correct? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like a utility tool for just making Sprite Sheets using Designer.
Yeah.
So it's called the Atlaser.
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 Sorry.
Atlaser, and the author is Bruno Alfonseca. So it's on Substance Share, it's free, and it's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah. So we have something already available. After all these questions.
Not only maybes and soon and so on.
We should stop now on a good note.
Do you want to stop now? I have another.
No, go ahead. But we might fail.
So Darren on YouTube, there's a couple of similar questions. So he's asking, he'd love to see more brush tools that compare more closely to Photoshop. Is that something you're considering doing?
Yeah, for Substance Painter, we know that in Substance Painter, even though it's called Painter, we know the painting is pretty weak right now. And we definitely have plans to improve the brush options and the brush feeling especially. That's a request we get a lot. So we have plans to just add more options to it, add some cool stuff that you may not have in Photoshop, and just make the painting experience better in overall. Yeah.
We're also working on having Photoshop-like swatches in Substance Painter. So yeah, we definitely have, lots of inspiration, especially from artists who are doing very stylized art. They do miss some of the Photoshop features, and they are forced to go into Photoshop sometimes.
Well, that's good news. Okay.
So that's also a soon.
Huh?
That's also a soon.
There you go.
It's a soon. It's another soon.
And then I guess a kind of similar question, someone would like to know if you're thinking about implementing drag and drop into Painter when it starts up.
Drag and drop into Painter. Oh, to drag and drop like a mesh, a scene or something in it. That should be something that's very easy to do. We've never really had the request, so we've never really looked at it, but it doesn't seem that it would be very complicated. So that's a very soon, I guess.
Cool. Yay. He said yes. Okay, I think that's pretty much it on the, okay. Oh yeah, someone's asking again about the UE4 live link, but you've already answered that one. So I think that's it. Jerome has one more question.
Yeah. One more question.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, I'm sure you get this asked a lot. I'm going to ask it again, and I want a definite answer, okay? So using the hard surfaces tool to make, quick little, detail is nice, but when can we expect full-on, vector shapes with little, anchor points and stuff that we can edit to make things? I always find myself going back into Illustrator or Photoshop, to create, whatever lines I need or shapes, and then bring them back in as, as fill layers or masks.
The definite answer I can give you is that it will happen. I can tell
soon.
I can tell you that it was. It's actually part of the original design document of Substance Painter that we did 4 years ago. So we've been thinking about this from the beginning, and the way Substance Painter is architectured and the way data is handled allows us to do that. Everything is saved as actual 3D space splines when you paint stuff. So all of it is already in there. What we need to do, and it's just it's a little complex to do, is to create all the UX and just have being able to let the user basically use these tools in an easy way and kind of a useful way and without overwhelming the user, because there's a lot of stuff you can do with this, and we just need to find the right balance between what control we give you and what stuff we keep as like a black box. But definitely something that we think about and something that I kind of review every 3 to 4 months. I kind of go back to that design document and kind of add new ideas on it. So it is there somewhere. We'll just need at some point to tackle this issue. It's not going to happen this year, but it will happen at some point. Sorry, I can give you better than that.
You should. I mean, you should. If you could see the full roadmap of Substance Painter, you would have nightmares. we're talking. Did I say designer or painter? Painter. Okay, designer a little bit, but quite the same. And you should know that software development is a constant frustration. Meaning that honestly, we are trying to release a new version every 2-3 months, which is already pretty good. But and we know that some people will be really happy with the new features. Some people will be disappointed because they've been waiting for features for years. And it's really a struggle because we want to go as fast as possible, but it's a matter of a resource. And this is why we are hiring like crazy, because we want to do everything. Then, just a matter of time, but typically, the vector tools is something we need to do. And we're not trying to find excuses, by the way. I mean, it's just the reality of software development, so there is no bad will here. And we're all, especially for Sebastian, is frustrated all the time about the lack of features. Yeah.
I look tired.
But we have the chance to have a very passionate community who's pretty much telling us what to do. And we're trying to make relevant choices, meaning that most of the time we are developing features that people are requesting.
I just want to also give a shout out to the team back in France that's working their ass off every time. Like the release on Friday, the new Anchor, they were working the last week every day until 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So these guys are like top notch.
Thanks. Painter is great. I just wanted to give you a hard time.
Well done.
Awesome. We made it, everyone. We made it to the end of Substance Days. Let's have a round of applause for the panel. So I think, is it Jeremy? Are you going to do the raffle? Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Or Wes, one of you guys?
Oh, yes, there was Raffle. So there's only one winner that will get 1 year of Substance, 1 year to get all the tools, all the Substance tools for 1 year. I'll get some pretty cool algorithmic gear, so some cool T-shirts that we have on our store. a copy of the PBR guide, and also the future MITMAT art book that we're going to release in a couple of months. So let's see if who's winning. Should I just read the number?
Yeah, we'll read them fast because not everyone has stayed. So
all right, so number is 27527.
Okay, you have like 3 seconds to shout your name or we go to the next number. Okay,
Not here? All
next
right,
number.
let's go to the next one.
It could take a
27534. No.
Could last forever.
Yeah, it is late, so people have left already. 27563. No.
That's crazy.
There is about 200 in there, so. 27493.
Come on, give it to somebody.
27573.
We could always throw.
Oh, yeah, we got a winner!
Yay! This is perfect because, is your name Stuart? Is that right? Stuart, right? He's been wanting to learn Substance for a while, so this is awesome. So yeah, Stuart, we'll take your email address.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah.
All right, congratulations.
We'll get you hooked up.
Congrats.
Yay, congratulations. And I wanted to ask for a round of applause for Marion from Algorithmic, who has basically made all this magic happen.
Yeah.
And to Courtney from Noman, Jason, all of the systems engineers, everyone. It takes a lot of effort to do these big events. It's one of the biggest ones we do at Noman each year. So we're all tired, but it's been amazing. It's been great. And thank you to everyone who came last night and then came back this morning. So yeah, and thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Thanks to you again. You, Anton, and Nauman. We're very, very happy. So.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
That's been awesome.
So.
Absolutely.
And thank you for all our partners for this event. Welcome, Sketchfab, ArtStation. So yeah, it was a real pleasure.
And thank you all for coming. That's great.
It's true.
I think that's a wrap, right?
Yeah, it is a wrap.
Okay.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.